Sydney is on the move because with our new orbital network, the places you want to get to are now closer than ever. To order your electronic tag today, go to sydneymotorways.com and discover how the orbital network is bringing Sydney together.
The completion of the network is a success story simply because it allows that far superior movement around Sydney. Plus it gives us the ability to cater for increased capacity and the increased volumes that we expect in the future. There's a number of benefits that the orbital gives. It allows the traffic to move much more freely around Sydney, to have a more consistent standard of roadway that they can use, and it separates, importantly, the through traffic through Sydney with the more localised traffic. The big benefit for a lot of the local communities was that it actually took a lot of traffic off their streets, which gives them much better conditions. And as well as all of that, it's really helped develop some of the areas, so particularly areas along the M7. You can see quite dramatic growth now because of this new facility they've got in terms of the new motorway. The number that use it is really astronomical. You're talking just on the M5 East alone of 100,000 vehicles a day. You're talking parts of the M7, around 60,000 vehicles a day. Lane Cove Tunnel has up to 60,000 vehicles a day. So when you put all of those vehicles together on all of the parts of the network, you're literally talking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands of vehicles who use this motorway network. Maintenance of the network gets really complicated. You're talking about not only physically maintaining the road, which is usually looked after by the private motorway companies, but also by the RTA in the sections we maintain. But it then goes beyond that because you're maintaining things on a daily basis, so you're having to have communications between the RTA as well as all the private motorways, coordinating the management of the traffic moving along the various parts of the network. So there's this real variety of areas that you've got to look at, both from that physical pavement area through to all the systems, through to the daily communication between all the various players on the network. The system is really supported by very high-tech technology, a lot of which is actually exported overseas. The biggest key in the success of the network is purely the completion which allows this end-to-end travel for the motorists. Without the completion of the network, we had a series of separate pieces of road, which while they were good in their own right, still meant that people had to travel on those before reverting back to other parts of the network. It's been really good to be involved in something as significant as the completion of the orbital network, simply because you can actually see a project coming to fruition which has delivered real benefits to the community in terms of allowing them to move around, but also giving them better conditions to live by, enabling things like the growth of industry, enabling Sydney to come towards its greater potential and allowing for that growth in the future. While we've reached a huge milestone, there's still a long way for us to go in terms of what we can do for the future and how we can make Sydney an even better place in terms of its motoring network.